Everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. I just want to let you know I did send out an email concerning the August 28 date that's at issue with Judge Farley. I hope you all saw it. I think that issue is going to go away for us on this case. So I just want to make sure you all saw the email I sent out.
I got it, Tom. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I sent it out just a few moments ago, in the last half hour.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just want to make sure everybody's here and ready to get started. I see Mr. Dixon, Mr. Smith, Ms. Lowry. Is Mr. Koshin here?
I saw him. He might be on the other screen.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am here.
Morning. You are here. Wonderful. I get this little, I apologize for that. I get this little pop-up that says meeting is now streaming and I can't make it go away and it doesn't show me who else is here and it covers it up. It's very annoying. So I apologize for that. There everybody is. Okay. And I heard Harriet, so I assume you're ready to go too, Harriet?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and call PUC proceeding number 23A-0633G. This is the application of Black Hills for a clean heat plan. Black Hills, Colorado Gas, I should say, for a clean heat plan. All right. Can I have appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Emmanuel Koshin, representing Black Hills, Colorado Gas.
Thank you, Mr. Koshin. Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Assistant Attorney General Ross Smith. I'm joined by Assistant Attorney General Josh Foreman as my co-counsel. We represent trial staff in this proceeding.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Tom Dixon. I'm appearing on behalf of the UCA, the Utility Consumer Advocate. Kate Crampton is out in Craig, Colorado, but she is working this case as well.
Okay, but she's not here on the call today,
She will
right?
not be here on the call. I'm covering for her.
Okay.
Morning, Your Honor. Second Assistant Attorney General Jessica Lowry, representing the Colorado Energy Office. My co-counsel David Banas is not on the call today.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lowry.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor. I think the last party here is Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, or SWEEP. And Michael Hyatt and Robert Ragonen with Earth Justice are appearing today on behalf of SWEEP.
Okay. Mr. Hyatt, who did you say was here with you?
Representing SWEEP, Southwest Energy Efficiency Project. I'm the
okay.
co-counsel.
I thought you said somebody was with you as well,
I
that
did.
somebody else was appearing on the call. Just you, Mr. Hyatt. Okay, so
Oh, no, correction. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I do have my co-counsel on the call. His name is Robert Ragonen.
okay. Okay. I see other people on the call, but they're not entering appearances or just listening in, I take it. Is that right? Okay, great. All right, we are here this morning for a pre-hearing conference in this matter, trying to set the matter for an evidentiary hearing. The parties have done a wonderful job getting together and coming up with a proposed schedule, which looks pretty good on my end. I did raise the one issue I had with the potential conflict on the commission's end, because it looks like there's an overlap with the evidentiary hearings on the 28th and the 29th. But Mr. Dixon, I'm going to have you talk first, because you emailed this morning, and I saw your email, but I haven't had a chance to respond or read the whole thing even, that it looks like the hearing that's currently set on the commission's calendar for those days is going to go away. Is that right?
It appears it'll be continued. What has happened is the applicant in that case, Colorado Natural Gas, has got a schedule that all parties in the case have agreed to that moves the hearing into December. And
Yeah.
so therefore it's requesting that the August 28 to 30 hearing go away. Judge Farley contacted all people by an email advising that he would like to have a pre-hearing conference to confirm what was going on and this with this new schedule. He gave us dates and times when he could have a pre-hearing conference. One of the times was anytime after 9 o'clock on Thursday. We responded we were available at 10:30. We have not heard back from him, but it is within his time frame. So we're expecting to have a pre-hearing conference on Thursday, where it's likely and hopefully the company, by the way, will waive the statutory time frame. So there's no issue in that regard. That is CNG. And so hopefully he will grant this agreed upon schedule that pushes the hearing out substantially and will eliminate the hearing on the 28th of August through the 30th in that case, which is the case that I believe you're referring to in your question. And I think that was 23A-0633G, which is what's called the Colorado Natural Gas Construction Allowance case. So what I'm trying to tell you is I believe that that date will be available now. I won't know for certain until the pre-hearing conference, and I'd be happy to report back to everybody or who's not on that call already on Thursday that indeed that has happened, and then you could issue an order if you were satisfied with that, using the 28th through 30th as was proposed by Mr. Koshin and agreed upon as, quote, option 2.
Okay, that all sounds like a good plan to me. That's in fact exactly what I was going to suggest. Because the schedule otherwise looks great, and I prefer, like, if parties have worked so hard to come to an agreed schedule that everybody likes, I like to honor it. I just feel like I want to encourage that, and it helps everybody along if we can do that. So,
with your permission, Your Honor, I would send an email to everybody, including you, after that pre-hearing conference, confirming what has happened, and then indeed the August 28 to 30 date has been vacated, and just send that by email. So everybody is aware of the outcome, and with any luck at all, you'll be able to issue an order with regard to this case.
Exactly, that's the plan. And as a backup, let's do that. If it doesn't work out that one gets continued, which seems unlikely, honestly, we can either reconvene for another pre-hearing conference to try and come up with another schedule, or if you would like, we could even come up with some backup dates right now and have them in our back pocket in case we need to use them. Which do you prefer?
Your Honor, from the company's perspective, we'd probably prefer to reconvene if those dates don't work out.
Okay.
We haven't run any other dates by our witnesses. And so if the company will commit, if these dates don't work out because of the CNG hearing, that we'll work with the parties to come up with an alternative schedule.
Okay.
And that would staff would echo Mr. Koshin's statement that we would prefer to be able to reconvene with our client just to make sure that there's obviously we have a lot of moving parts. So we always want to make sure we're not conflicting any of our witnesses.
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Smith.
UC
That makes perfect sense too.
UCA
UCA
also
agrees.
concurs. We just
Okay.
found 6 interventions this week. To give you some sense of our workload, and I'm sure everybody else's.
But yeah, and that reflects on my workload too, Mr. Dixon. Yes, everybody's just slammed. I know there's lots and lots of moving parts going on at the commission right now, which on a completely a tangential inside is why we're getting a new ALJ starting tomorrow. So hopefully that will ease the burden a little bit. Maybe not for you, but for us at least.
Do we know who that new person is?
Yes, Judge Bob Garvey is returning.
That was what I had heard.
Yep, that is the case. He is, I believe, en route somewhere in Kansas right now. So yes, we're all very excited to have him back. Okay.
Your Honor,
yeah.
sorry.
Yes, Ms.
I was
Lowry.
just wondering if everybody could check with their clients about whether the 27th works, if the 28th doesn't, so we could at least try to keep the same week. I mean, not right, you have to check right now, but that's our proposal for the alternative.
Okay. I don't, well, hang on. It's hard for me to get to. If that other hearing does not get continued, I mean, my understanding is it's currently set for, oh, hang on. It's hard to look at this. It is set for the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So I appreciate the effort, Ms. Lowry, but I don't think it'll work. So I think we're best off keeping it as agreed upon for now as the 28th, 29th, 30th. Keep our fingers crossed that Judge Farley's hearing will be continued to December as the parties to that proceeding have requested. It seems very likely. And if it doesn't, we'll reconvene and we may have to just look at dates in September. Mr. Koshin, one thing I'd like to confirm, your email indicated that the company is willing to waive the statutory time period. I just want to confirm that on the record because if we go into September, it'll be even more of an issue.
That is correct, Your Honor. The company does in fact waive the statutory time limits for this proceeding.
Thank you so much, Mr. Koshin. That will give everybody a good bit of breathing room, and I appreciate that. Okay. Do you want to come up with a proposed but not necessarily executed secondary pre-hearing date should we need to reconvene? Do you want to, or do you want me to just declare one? I would recommend, since we're all here, we take a quick look and have a backup date in our pockets just in case we need to reconvene for another pre-hearing conference. Looking at my calendar, since we should know this pretty quickly, I could do Friday, May 10th, or that looks pretty busy. The morning of Tuesday, May 7th. That's next week. So I could do next week either the morning of the 7th or the 10th. After that, it may have to be Tuesday, the 28th, which is the day after Memorial Day.
So the company is available on May 7th and May 10th. The company could be available the week after Memorial Day, but there might be some difficulties with that week.
Okay. Okay. So let's focus on the morning of May 7th, because we're not talking about a long hearing. So on the morning's fine, or the morning of May 10th.
Your Honor, oh, apologies, Your Honor.
No, I was going to ask your way in, Mr. Smith. So please go ahead.
I think staff would prefer the 10th. We have one attorney conflict, my own, on Tuesday, May 7th.
Okay.
So I think for our part, but we're happy to make it work if the other parties need to do the 7th.
Okay. The 10th is wide open on the commission's calendar and my calendar, so that's actually a little better for us. Ms. Lowry, you're next on my screen, so how does CEO feel?
May 10th works for us.
Great. Mr. Dixon?
May 10th also works for us, and I hope we don't have to hold it.
I hope so too. Mr. Hyatt?
May 10th also works for sweep. Thanks.
All right. That's great. Okay, so I will mark down May 10th. Just hold it for now, and hopefully by the end of the week, we'll know whether we need to do that. And I will just ask our staff to tentatively hold the hearing room for August 28th, 29th, 30th for the hearing in this under the supposition and hope that Judge Farley's hearing it gets continued, which, like I said, it looks like it will. All right. That was all I had on my agenda. Does anybody have anything else they want to raise or discuss today?
The one additional piece in the email, Your Honor, CEO requested that the commission schedule at least one public comment hearing at a date to be selected by the ALJ.
Okay.
The company does not oppose this. I haven't heard back from the other parties. I don't anticipate anyone else opposes, but thought I would bring that to your attention in case someone does have an objection.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Koshin. Mr. Smith, any objection to a public comment hearing?
No, Your Honor, no objection from staff.
Okay. Mr. Dixon?
No objection. We welcome it.
Oh, wonderful. Mr. Hyatt?
No objection for sweep, and we also support it. Thanks.
Okay. And Ms. Lowry, I'm assuming since you requested it, you support it as well.
Correct. Thank you. And thank you to all the parties.
All right. I guess the next question I have then is, do you want me to come up with a date right now? Because I'm sure, even though, I mean, it'll mostly affect me, I assume the rest of you would like to be available and listen in if possible. Am I correct?
Yes, from the UCA.
Okay. So let's take a look at some dates for a public comment hearing. My preference for those hearings is to have them fully remote. I think my belief is that that allows people from all over the state to participate if they so desire. And we have found that there is generally better participation when we do them remotely than when we try to do them in person.
UCA agrees.
UCA agrees. Ms. Lowry, what do you think?
Yep. CEO agrees with that. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor, in the interest of promoting equity, we also think that remote hearings for public comment are useful.
Great.
I'll also point out, having watched public hearings, these remote public hearings generally attract many more people than people having to come into the hearing room in Denver. So
That's right.
I think it's actually a much better way to conduct public hearings by the commission in general, and that they should consider this at all times, being a virtual public hearing at least.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. I'm going to ask you to tell our commissioners that because they don't always share that opinion, but the ALJs most certainly do. That we have just in general found much better participation when we do it remotely. I will ask though that I'll have the way I'll set it up is we'll ask people to register before so that we have some idea how many people will be participating in the call. Because we've certainly had situations where we held public comment hearings and no one shows up. That's not such a big deal when it's remote because I just kind of check in every 15 minutes or so until I decide no one's going to be there. But it gives me a sense of how many people to expect and it helps me. Okay, we need some time to send out a public notice for it. And at this point, I don't believe the commission currently has I think the position for our public, what's the word I'm looking for? Our press release person retired, and I don't believe a replacement has been hired yet. So I may have to send this out on my own. So I need a little time to do that. And usually it's best if we can do 2 cycles of notice, like one about 2 weeks in advance and one a day or two prior to the scheduled hearing. I think you get the best, the widest net set, cast out that way. So given all that, I think we should push it out at least a month. I'm thinking probably early June. What do you think about Friday, June 7th. That's clear on my calendar and the PUC's calendar. Friday's not a great day to do it, but it's not the worst either.
No
Any thoughts?
objection from the company.
June 7th? Okay.
Your Honor, what time are you thinking?
Well, I find that I have in the past started them at around 11:30 or 12, and that kind of lets people who are on their lunch break join in, and then left it open for a few hours. We've also done them, towards the end of the day, say around 4. I don't recommend that on a Friday because people will be escaping to the mountains. And I'm certainly open to any other day of the week, but I'm also open to anyone's thoughts or comments on it. We've been trying to play around with the start times of public comment hearings, and so far haven't come up with any consensus of what seems to be working best. So if you have an opinion, please tell me.
Your Honor, CEO's only thought is that it might be better to wait until after answer testimony comes in, a little bit closer to the hearing, so more of the different parties' perspectives are in the record for people to comment on.
Okay. So when are you thinking? How far out would that push it? I'm not opposed to that. We've tended to think that sometimes it's better to have things a little earlier in the proceedings so that people can respond to any comments in their answer testimony. And whereas I don't know how many people in the general public will actually be going into the commission's records and reading answer testimony. I haven't seen that. So that's the counter to that. But I am open to anything. Whatever you think is best is truly fine with me.
I think we're thinking maybe like a week after answer testimony.
Okay.
That would be, I think our schedule has answer testimony on June 21st.
Yes, I'm looking at that right now. So more
Maybe
like
June 28th.
June 28th. And if you wanted to do a different day of the week, Monday, July 1st or Tuesday, July 2nd also looks good, although I don't know if people start having vacations that week or not. Ms. Lowry, do those dates look okay to you? June 28th, July 1st, or July 2nd? Okay.
Yeah, I think any of them look okay. I don't know whether people would be going out of town, the week of July 4th, but
Right.
also being remote, that makes it easier for people to join from wherever they are.
Right. Because there's great reception on top of Quandary. So
Okay, as long as you're not there.
just saying. So I'd want to be there. Mr. Koshin, what do you think about those dates?
Those dates work for the company, Your Honor. I agree with the concern about July 4th and think it's probably best to do it either before or after that week. But
Okay.
in any event, all of those dates are available and company is comfortable with them.
Okay. I could do the week after the 4th works fine too. I could do July 9th. And it truly doesn't matter all that much to me. It's kind of what works best for all of you. So let's narrow it down to let's eliminate the week of the 4th just because people do tend to bug out. So I could do Monday, June 24th, Friday, June 28th, or if we move into the week after the 4th, July 8th, 9th. Oh, I can't do, yeah. July 8th, 9th, or 11th are all good. So what is your preference?
So on Monday, June 24th, there is a continued rulemaking hearing.
Oh, okay. It's not on the public calendar yet, so.
Oh, interesting. It's on my calendar. How we got there.
It may be that just hasn't made it onto the public calendar yet. Like, Mr. Dixon insinuated everyone's been slammed, so.
I don't know what about the meeting, but any of those days work, whatever parties prefer.
Okay.
That's the same for staff, Your Honor. I don't think there's any preference or,
Okay.
CEO's preference is to not do it on a Friday.
Okay.
But if that's the day that works best, that's fine too.
I mean, like, look, July 9th is totally open. There's, as far as I can tell, nothing on the PUC's calendar right now, nothing on my calendar. I will be here. So if you want to do that, that works for me.
July
Sure.
9th works for the company.
July 9th? All right, let's shoot for that. July 9th. Okay.
Your Honor,
And oh, go ahead, Mr. Dixon. Sorry.
yeah, I was just going to suggest, you raise a good point that the 11:30 hearings have been working well, but also the 4 o'clock ones work. Is it possible to have a split public hearing, one beginning at 11:30 for approximately 2 hours, and then one at 4 o'clock for up to 6 hours to 6 o'clock with both of them saying, or when the last commenter's done. So if it's 4:30, I'm sorry, if we start 11:30 to noon, there's no one left, you can adjourn and say, we will come back at 4 o'clock. And if there's no one after 5, you can adjourn at that point. So I would suggest doing a split hearing. And then you can accommodate the people that are working.
That sounds like a great plan to me, Mr. Dixon. We've done that many times and it does work very well. How does everyone else feel about that? So we'd
Staff
start
would-
one. Go ahead. Sorry, Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
staff would strongly support Mr. Dixon's proposal.
Okay. So we got 11:30 to 1:30-ish and 4 to 6-ish.
And Your Honor,
Mr. Koshin?
as you
Oh,
know,
go
on
ahead,
the
Mr.
screens, the commission does put up notes on if the hearing's been delayed to a later time or whatever. So there's all sorts of memos that go on the front screen to let people know it's done for now, but come back at 4. So as long as the commission continues doing that practice, I think you'll get your maximum number of public comments on this case.
I will ask that be done, Mr. Dixon. I am not the one who does it, so I don't know how, but I'm sure our more than capable staff will make sure that happens.
I believe like Federico or Jennifer, one of those folks do it, take
Yeah.
care of it.
Yeah, Casey Federico is phenomenal. We are very lucky to have her and she will take care of everything for me.
There you go.
So if she's listening in, a shout out to Casey. Okay. Anything else? We've got a potential second pre-hearing conference for May 10th, a fully remote public comment hearing on July 9th from 11:30 to 1:30-ish and 4 to 6-ish. The schedule that you've proposed looks good. I'm just going to hold off sending out the final setting on that until we can confirm that other hearing has gone away or been moved back. Anything else from the parties?
Nothing further from the company, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Koshin.
And
Mr.
nothing
Dixon?
further from UCA. I will send out an email once I know what happens in that pre-hearing conference on Thursday.
Perfect.
To
Thank you so
and
much.
all parties.
That would be
they're
great.
aware.
Perfect. Mr. Smith?
Sorry, Your Honor. I don't think there's anything else from staff. I'm trying to make sure. Do we have? I apologize. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Okay, never mind. It looks like we have an SOP date. Otherwise, nothing from staff.
Okay, great. The schedule looked pretty complete in
Yes,
my
yes.
view, so I thought it was
Too many, like Mr. Dixon and everyone else, with too many going on at the same time, floating around.
yes. Ms. Lowry, are you good with that? Anything else?
Yes. Thank you. Nothing further from CEO.
Great. Mr. Hyatt?
Nothing else for sweep. Thank you.
All right. I think we're good to go then. Thank you all for your hard work putting this together. That really did make this much more streamlined and much easier for me. I appreciate it very much. You all have a great rest of your day, and we are adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.